Hello, everybody. Welcome to this channel. I'm Kay, and today I would love to share with you how to set healthy boundaries. I mean, a lot of us have always, heard people saying like, you gotta set healthy boundaries. You gotta meet your own needs. You gotta know what you want. You gotta set healthy boundaries so that people would not intrude into your personal space. Things like this. But then to be honest, it is something that is kind of like easier said than done. And that is why I want to speak on this topic today. From personal experience and also from with practical methods. So for the first part of the video would be on how to set healthy boundaries and basically what are healthy boundaries and how are they formed, right? And then for the second part would be briefly on how would people potentially react to you when you start to set healthy boundaries. Okay, it's just certain phenomena that would pop up. It is pretty natural, so there's no need to resist. That is why I want to mention them to you first, so then when you encounter it yourself, you would not be so surprised, okay, and not be resistant to it because you already have an understanding about the situation. So now for the first part, that would be, what is healthy boundary? First of all, right? Healthy boundary is the understanding of what one wants, what one needs, and what one doesn't want and what one doesn't need, right? It is from the very understanding of oneself first. Only then you would know what do I want and what do I not want, like what I don't want. And more specifically is on one's needs. Setting healthy boundaries, like what are healthy boundaries, right? Healthy boundaries are so important to shaping our mental health and psychological well-being. Because if we don't know where our boundaries are, we would have a lot of emotional, what do you call that? Like emotional residue or intruders or emotional intrusions that are quite unnecessary, and usually they are results of meshed boundaries with other people. Okay, so some people would be not aware of boundary crossing because they themselves don't even understand what healthy boundaries are. And so this is what healthy boundaries are for. It is to shape and maintain every one of us, our mental well-being. And physiologically speaking and even psychologically speaking, it is for our wellness, okay, overall wellness. So now then, how are healthy boundaries formed? Healthy boundaries are formed by first knowing what one needs and what one wants. Okay, only then you would know what you don't want and what you don't need. And when you know what you don't need and what you don't want, you can then speak up for yourself. Yes, this is also very important. When you know what you want and what you don't want, what you need and what you don't need, you also need to take action by speaking up or physically speaking to align with your truth, to align with what I need and what I don't need. You got to speak up to people that, oh, I don't need this. Sometimes it can be very subtle. And usually you would feel pretty triggered in situations like this because sometimes crossing boundaries can be really, really stealthy. Okay, now it could be, now I'm going to give an example. Say, I'm not sure if you have ever had this kind of experience. No, I'm speaking from my personal experience. So when I was younger, when I was a kid. So my parents, they don't. I mean, they never really have a very strong bond or like a very healthy relationship themselves. So at one point during their marriage, they did not even communicate. Like they avoided each other. They avoided to speak with each other, and so then they asked me to become kind of like the messenger between them. So that was actually really uncomfortable. You know, it's not something that I wanted to do. It's not something. It's not a role that I wanted to take. But as a kid, I didn't know what to do, or say I was trying to maintain or mend their relationship. I thought that was my responsibility. However, later, it got really stressful for me. You see, the relationship between them was something toxic, you know, on its own. Now, I got involved, or say I got dragged into it because I became the messenger between them. And so, you see, I did not set boundaries. That's why I brought this example up. I did not set boundaries, right, as a kid, because I did not know. And why was it? It's because I did not know my needs. I did not know my needs. I was fulfilling their needs. Now, see, the thing is that my parents also didn't understand boundaries, nor they do now. They are learning also, right? So when people do not have a good sense of healthy boundaries themselves, usually, most of the time, 95% of the time, I would say, they would be also very unconsciously crossing other people's boundaries. Okay, so now back to the topic of like tracking back to how to then set healthy boundaries is that you gotta speak up. Like in such a situation, if now in the present time now, me, if a similar situation happen, be it in workplace or in the family situation, I would then actually say, you go talk to that person yourself, because I don't want to get involved in this. It is not something that I want to do, nor is my responsibility. You see, that is then setting healthy boundaries, but not in a way that is aggressive. I'm just stating the truth. I'm simply stating what I need and what I don't want to do. The first thing about setting healthy boundaries is to first understand what one needs, right? Now, and then the second step is to meeting one's need. You got to take action by speaking up or physically taking any kind of action to actually align to fulfilling my own need first. And then so gradually, as we meet more of our own needs, we take action to fulfill, right? There's where the boundary is formed. Okay, so the boundary doesn't form, in a day. It is formed through conscious choices, conscious alignment with one's needs, one's truth, that I keep meeting. I consciously choose to meet my own needs. Okay, it is healthy. I have to reassure you that first. It is healthy to meet one's needs, because what everybody has to meet one's own needs first. Only then you are stable. And that also means at the same time you have healthy boundaries. Okay? So then you know very clearly where one stands as relating to the external. I have to first understand where I stand, right? That means my own needs. Only then I fulfill them, and that's where the boundaries are formed in a very healthy and conscious way. Not that I am hating or like I'm expressing in an aggressive way. I'm simply stating the truth. So this is how we set healthy boundaries. Okay. Now that's the second part. Let's go to the second part. The second part is how people would potentially react to you if you choose to consciously set healthy boundaries, on a daily basis by making conscious choices, okay, conscious responses, by stating your own needs, meeting your own needs. People, for people who do understand, they themselves have a strong sense of healthy boundaries, they would not be resistant to when you state out your own needs, okay, because they understand, because they operate in this way as well. All right, so it's like the minds think alike, okay, so they would not react, they would simply respond politely and with understanding. These are the people with healthy boundaries themselves, okay, they would not get triggered, they would simply show compassion and understanding, okay, without any kind of emotional reaction. Okay, it's very calm. People understand. These are the ones that they themselves embody healthy boundaries. Okay, now for those who react aggressively or passive aggressively, or in a very sulky way, or in a even blaming, okay, blaming you, why are you doing this, like you're not considerate enough, why would you not supporting me but you support them, things like that. There are many ways. So when there are any signs of blaming, any signs of passive aggression, any signs of gaslighting, manipulation, okay, any way that is trying to put you down in any way to make you feel uncomfortable, just understand that it's because they themselves don't understand healthy boundaries yet, so they would feel very triggered. Because when people don't understand healthy boundaries and encountering others who actually set healthy boundaries and actually stating the truth, those who are without a strong sense of healthy boundaries would get triggered. Okay, because why? Because they feel rejected. Okay, it is very common in the psyche, psychologically, that they would feel abandoned or rejected. It is coming from a wound, okay, a trauma, okay, unhealed wound. So this is something that they themselves have to learn over time. It is not your responsibility nor anyone's responsibility. It is their own responsibility to look within and understand where that emotion comes from. Okay, so they have to go there and heal themselves and understand how to set healthy boundaries on their own, as well as respecting other people's healthy boundaries. Okay, so it's very common. And so once you understand this, it's simply they feel triggered because of being rejected in a way, in a sense, and also feeling a bit abandoned because of you setting healthy boundaries. You choosing to meet your own needs, meaning that you're not fulfilling their needs. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that you are basically, giving them back that responsibility to themselves, that hey, I'm not fulfilling your need, so it's on you, so then they have to take their own things back, and just like, oh my god, I have to do this now. So that's why they would feel triggered. Okay, it is not something pretty. It's not something pretty. So, it's a habit. But they're gonna outgrow themselves over time. It takes time, and it takes, everyone has their own pace of learning, right? So always, to me, always see things compassionately and with more patience and inclusiveness. That's how I operate, I'm just sharing, okay, my way of doing. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video and find the contents helpful. And if you like to see more of this, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye bye.